Today, I wanted to do a different type of prediction video for MSM Composer. One of the most exciting things for MSM Composer users is the addition of new monsters to the app. It's a very anticipated thing that happens once every blue moon, so I thought it could be interesting to dive into the rabbit hole of possible upcoming monsters for the app. We have quite the variety of monster classes in the main game, so I will be ranking each class's possibility of being added. I'd like to think that someday most if not all of these classes will be added, so I will be predicting which ones are most likely to come first. Before we get into the rankings, I will need to eliminate some monster classes since they are either already in the game or I believe that they won't get added. Let's break it down. Since ethereals, naturals, dipsters, and seasonals are already in the game, we can get rid of those. For rares and epic, I believe that more will probably get added, but these classes are too complicated to predict for this video. And finally, I decided not to include the wordos or webboxes, since I personally believe that they'd be too difficult to incorporate into the Composer app. With that out of the way, let's move on to the rankings. Starting off with the least likely option in the 6th spot, let's discuss the magicals. Like any of the classes on this list, all of these are equally as likely, but I'm using logic and whatnot to whittle down the options. The reason why I put the magicals at the bottom of the list is because they are the newest class out of them all. I'll be roughly using this mindset for the majority of the classes since it is a pretty simple thing to base it off of. But the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I feel like the older, for lack of a better word, monsters are more likely to get a new spotlight so that they can get some attention from the fan base. So with this said, allow me to talk about the next class. In the 5th spot, I have put the Celestials. The reasoning for this ranking is because of the ongoing updates within MSM. Since the Celestials are currently in the midst of getting adult forms, I would believe that they aren't as likely as the other classes that are yet to be mentioned. However, I don't think that is completely out of the question since the Celestials were released back in June of 2018, but at this point in time, I don't think they're as likely. In the 4th spot, I have put the Wublins. With them being released in March of 2016, they are definitely one of the older classes, therefore making them seem like a possible candidate, but I also don't feel like it's super probable either, since like the Celestials, they are also getting updates on a monthly basis via the new rare forms. With this being said, I think they are about in the same boat as the Celestials, but a little bit more likely in my opinion. In the 3rd spot, I have put the Fires. This class is definitely the one that the community wants the most, but I think that it won't be coming as soon as we hope. But I will say, it is definitely a good candidate since they were introduced in August of 2015, courtesy of Tribal Island. So although this is quite a probable option, I think there are more likely options. In the 2nd spot, I have decided to put the Mythicals. Now, this might seem unexpected to some of you, but let me explain. Even though Mythical Island has just recently been finished, Mythicals have been around for a surprisingly long time, specifically Gajube and Yostrich. These two were first introduced back in June of 2014 for the PlayStation Vita, with them becoming available to all platforms in September of 2019. However, their existence isn't the only reason why they're so high up on this ranking. If we take a look at what monsters are currently available on the Composer app, they all root from the natural islands. We have naturals in their common and rare forms, dipsters which inhabit every natural island, along with others but that's irrelevant, seasonals which are on their respective islands, and ethereals which are also part of their respective natural islands. With this being the case, I think that the Mythicals are in the same boat as the ethereals since both classes are bred on a natural island and are teleported to their own unique island dedicated to their class. In summary, Mythicals are definitely one of the most likely options with the information we currently have. And finally, in the 1st spot, I have decided to give it to none other than the Shugga fam. Am I biased towards the Shugga fam? Well, maybe, but that's not the reason I put them at the 1st place spot. If we use the logic from what I presented for the Mythicals, it matches just about perfectly. With Shuggawish Island being released in December of 2013, it makes it the oldest class not yet in the Composer app as far as I know. Sugarbush is also bred on Plant Island and teleported to its respective island, just like the ethereals. I rest my case. And yeah, those are my predictions. I highly recommend that you take them with a heavy pinch of salt, since my reasoning isn't super solid and the app is honestly quite unpredictable, especially due to the lack of updates. I'd honestly love to see all of these classes be added to the app, but knowing how spin-off MSM apps go, MSM Composer might get discontinued before the app could get added. Yet again, the Composer app is the only app that costs money, meaning it might be here to stay, so who knows? Also, you may have noticed that I left out the auxiliary seasonals. I don't really have any reason for doing so, but I do think it might have been difficult to fit them into the list since they're an extension of the original 5 seasonals, which are already in the Composer app. Anyways, like usual, let me know what you think. I know a lot of you will probably say how much you want fires in the app, but also let me know what you think is the most likely to be added next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya.